Hello, hello. Welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about a new journey that I have just kind of delved into, per se. And that would be just in general, the Warhammer 40K universe. Growing up, I had no idea I'd never heard of 40K. I didn't hear about what 40K was even until my more adult years. And mind you, the kind of tabletop games that Warhammer 40K is not something I've ever played in my life at all. And I'm sure a lot of other people, I recently just finished Warhammer Space Marine 2. That game is amazing. It was so fun, full breath of fresh air. I know a lot of people have talked about how it feels like a Xbox 360 time frame game was just kind of plucked from then and put into a modern graphics, stuff like that. It's not the most, gameplay intensive kind of complex game. It's just pure mayhem fun, and it's awesome. You feel like a fucking badass playing that game. You feel like a super soldier, like a Space Marine is. And just playing through that and learning the little bits of just the Warhammer lore, the little bits you kind of pick up on from that game. And I remember the first anything Warhammer that I played at all was Darktide, actually. And I had no idea what was going on. I haven't played that game much. I had no idea what was what. I didn't end up looking that much more into it after the fact. But with Space Marine 2, this made me actually go and watch some bits of lore. Learn more about the Space Marines. Learn that there's 20 different legions minus 2 because 2 are just gone. And just learning more about the lore, gradually. There is way more than I ever would have thought. There's way more than I ever could have imagined. There is hours and hours and hours of just lore videos on YouTube and stuff, which that's how I'm going to consume it, I think. I'm not really a book reader, and there is a lot of books from what I've little bits heard from it. But it's been super exciting. I've always loved learning lore kind of stuff like this in other series. So going through the Warhammer 40K universe with just how much different shit is in it has been a lot of fun. A little bit too much fun, honestly. And that is because I could just say I made another impulse buy type of thing. But after playing the game, learning more about it and everything, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's try to get, actually into Warhammer a bit more. So I found just a starter set here. It was on sale on Amazon, which honestly, mainly the only reason that I bought it. It comes with I want to say 18 Space Marine different miniatures, and I think 38 Tyranid ones. Basically, got that specifically just to teach myself the game, teach myself how to build the miniatures, because I've never even owned any sort of figurine in my life, just never have. So that, or again, I made that Lego video about never building a Lego. The box is still, but I didn't build that Lego yet. Was very interested in getting this just to kind of say dip my toe in to see if it's something that I would actually, kind of enjoy, if that makes sense. I don't think I'm going to have my main army type of thing be either just the Ultra Space Marines or the Tyranids, just because it seems kind of basic in a way, and there is so many other different, factions and whatnot that you can pick from and everything like that. There's a few that look super interesting to me. I want to at least know the game somewhat more and whatnot before I'm let's get these miniatures and this and that, when, Warhammer 40K is not cheap at all. I only got this because it was on sale. Just as a, let's see, worst case, I build the miniatures, I paint them like shit, and then I just have some little figurines I can say I did. Not the end of the world, personally. But that's not to say I haven't built one yet, because I technically now have. Look at this bad boy. First ever Warhammer 40K figurine that I've ever built. It turned out fine. It's not painted because I don't have paint There's some gaps and whatnot because I also don't have glue. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this that I don't have. They're just put like the starter set for putting them together is just like push to fit kind of stuff. So like you just push two pieces together. It does make gaps, which obviously like perfect world there wouldn't be any. But very first one I ever did, I said fuck it. I'm gonna start with the Tyranid, the big one too, to make it like seem easiest. And I think it turned out pretty fine. I'm kind of terrified to even attempt to paint this thing, just for the fact of like I barely know where to start. So it's gonna be very interesting. I still have like the rest of them to build, which surprisingly like it didn't take really that long at all. I'm a little nervous with the Space Marines just because they're like much smaller, so I don't want to mess them up when I cut them off their little thing and whatnot. But surprisingly, it was a lot easier to build that than I was initially thinking it was, because it definitely is kind of like intimidating first, like opening that box, seeing all this shit, and just it had a how to build and everything in there, so it made it a lot easier doing that way. But there's a lot that goes into it more, and I have like a little starter set for like painting them and whatnot, and I think it has a lot of just like the basic kind of paints and stuff like that. I did get like the little oil that I saw online is basically like painting cheat code. Once you paint it, you just cover it with this thing and kind of put it on thinly, and once it dries or whatever, it makes it pop more. Basically, like it just makes it look like you're a better painter using this oil. Hopefully that works. The first one, I think it's going to go absolutely terribly, but I built the first one without it being that bad. So I'm pretty proud of this, if I'm being honest. But being that I'm like super new, like as bare bones with this as possible, any sort of advice, tips, factions, legions, whatever that you enjoy, that you think would be good for a beginner and whatnot, stuff like that, please be sure to leave a comment. Anything like that is super, super helpful. I'll say there is like a few that I've like been interested in. The first one that seems pretty interesting with the lore I've seen, their color scheme, their Space Marines, it would be the Black Templars. Mind you, everyone in Warhammer is a bad guy. Like they're all pretty crazy. Everyone. Are some worse than others? You could argue it. Black Templars is one of like the Space Marines Legion kind of stuff that I'm actually like, I think it would be really cool. How they play, I have no idea, but they look super cool. I like the black aesthetic to the armor, stuff like that. The other one would be the Blood Angels, I think, which it kind of basic bitch, honestly, from everything I've seen online with like whatever that. Oh my god, I forget their like Primarch's name, and he dies. Sorry, spoiler and lore, I guess. The red one, those red ones, the red Space Marines, the Blood Angels, they seem very cool. Stuff I've seen, I think they're kind of more expensive just because they are very popular. I could be completely wrong. The other one that seems kind of interesting to me would be Necrons. I'm kind of like split on that though. I think it'd be cool, but at the same time, I don't know. That's my thought with Necrons. I don't know. And the first faction that I thought would be super cool, that looks super cool, would be Chaos Space Marines. Just because like they're more, chaos. They're more bad. And I'm certain like there's more that goes into like Chaos Space Marines, like with a faction even in that and stuff that I have no idea about. Haven't looked into it that much. I did see stuff that was like their kind of how they play is more complicated with their rules and kind of stuff like that. That it wasn't like a faction that someone would recommend for a beginner. So in my head, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll learn the game. Start with like a more basic kind of army, and then voice crack again. I'm having a rough day. And then from there, go to something more complicated, like a Chaos Space Marine or something. Once I like am fully more into it, if that makes sense. But in my head, I just want something that's like more melee combat focused. Up close, absolutely fucking destroy stuff and go at it from there. That's kind of what I think I want to be more. Just like role playing in my head. I think that would be more fun and interesting for me. I don't know. I don't know anything about the game. I'm going to build these And then I'm gonna like, because it has like training scenarios and stuff to like teach you the very like basics, and then play a few times with friends with like these two sets, just to continuously get like some sort of grasp on the game before, you know, buying more, doing this, buying a new, like, you know, it's crazy though that just how expansive the universe is, how much that goes into this game, how big people's armies, how many miniatures people can own. It is intimidating. But honestly, I just got the starter set. I feel like besides paint, like I'm pretty well set to at least try it. But yeah, basically, I'm just starting to get into Warhammer because of Space Marine 2. It was super fun, super good game. The lore, the world, it's so goddamn enthralling, like in my head. I'm just getting into the actual tabletop with the miniatures. If you have any advice at all, please be sure to leave a comment, because I'll take anything. From where to buy a thing, what miniatures are good, what faction is fun, which faction is good, which faction is terrible, which faction is super complex, so stay away from, and which faction is the most fun and just stupid. I've heard orcs are kind of the fun, stupid one. And stupid, not like you're stupid for playing them, just like, I don't know, it's like fucking coin flips and random bullshit, which does sound fun. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Consider subscribing. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I think like in the future when I have all this stuff put together and painted and everything, I'll do like another follow-up just to show it off how bad I paint them, but hopefully it turns out. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.